let's move on to some more stuff over here that's got on this thing right here, man, real quick. So, this absolutely was not a random made-up story. It absolutely was not that the Spaniards or the people on this crew were 5 feet tall. It's not true. It absolutely is not that he's just misspeaking about the local tribe that was 7 feet tall on that island, right? No, he encountered literal giants there. And another fun fact about this whole giant encounter is that all over South America and some parts of Central America that I was able to look into it, they all have stories of giants in there. They all have stories of giants, even going up into, way back in the day. I think it was Jekyll Island on Georgia or someplace like that. They had them over there, right? But we're going to come back to that as well. To this day, they still have that large tribe down there, but that tribe is not, 7 feet tall anymore. They're big, tall tribe. They're like 6'3", 6'6", something like that. But they're no longer, 7 foot tall people, right? Now, to wrap up, to take this down before I go into some more evidence, is that this is not Magellan making this up for his, to build his fame and his legend. Magellan actually reached the Philippines. He was so close, just a little bit farther to the west, and he's in Indonesia. He knew that he was there. He knew that when he got to the Philippines and was talking to these people, he knew that he was going to succeed, that he knew where he was going to go, right? Wild thing about it, though, at this time, he had already lost 3 ships along the way. He was only down to 2 ships, right? And for some unknown reason, Magellan decided to get involved in a tribal political dispute with these Filipinos over there. Not sure why. And old boy bit off more than he could chew, and the Filipinos took him out. He took 52 of his men heavily armored, and he tried to go up against like 1,100 Filipino fighters. And if he could have had his ship closer, they might have had a chance. But they ran into this reef, and he couldn't go any further. So he made all the guys get out and wade ashore. And yeah, it didn't turn out too well for him. In fact, they never recovered his body whatsoever. And so the Filipinos tribes that took him out, they kept it as a trophy, and they actually his crew tried to buy it back. Like they tried to give him gold and everything else, and he wouldn't do it, right? So the rest of the crew only got down to 1 ship. I think it was the Trinidad, finished the circumnavigation and came all the way back in and landed, back in Spain to report, yeah, we found this route. Yeah, Magellan's dead. Yeah, we found giants along the way. And, that's just how it is. It's how it is. And then, of course, Straits of Magellan, and then Magellan got credit for circumnavigating the globe. He got that little belt added there as well. So, now, that's the story about Magellan meeting his Patagonian giants down there, right? And again, for 300 years after Magellan, explorers from Spain, England, Holland, France, Portugal, Jesuit missions, naval expeditions, anthropological, I can't pronounce my words tonight, all reported meeting giants in Patagonia as well. And the tribe. You can go look this up. So these people that are just dumping on this stuff right away, saying there's no such thing as giants, it's just a hoax or whatever, you're willfully keeping yourself in the dark about the true history of this planet. And so there you go. There was one of your references right now. No biblical reference whatsoever. Purely historical documents maintained in Spain and in Argentina to show you exactly what this is and what was going on. To prove to you that this was actually also a global phenomenon, you can trace it back to, well, let me say this. Several people have postulated on, what these giants are, where they were from, what was going on, and, those type of scenarios about, what this could possibly be. And the most reoccurring explanation is that there were remnants of the Nephilim. And you can't, if you don't want to use the Bible for that, then you can just look at the Anunnaki story. Enki and Enlil, right? The giants, right? Enki and Enlil were both 15 feet tall, according to Mesopotamia Sumerian tablets, right? The Watchers in the book of Enoch, over my shoulder, probably right over there, talks about the sons of God coming down, mating with our women, giving birth to Nephilim that were giants, right? Then you want to dig into some other historical records here as well, right? Genesis 6:4 speaks of the Nephilim, the mighty men of old, men of renown, right? So anytime you're reading the Bible and you see a reference to the mighty men, that's a Nephilim. Numbers 13:33, when the spies, we saw the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own sight, when they were talking to these guys, right? Also, fringe alternative theories will tell you that the remnant of the giant bloodlines bred with the inhabitants of the Native Americans and the tribals, and that's where these tall people came from, 7-foot tall people, and every now and then a 10-footer would shoot up, right? But also, Patagonian giants are seen as one of several possible global pockets of surviving giant clans. Along the Middle East, you have the Kandahar giants, and funny about the Kandahar giants as well, I haven't really did a story on that because I really can't do enough deep dive on it to get other type of sources in here to talk about it. But Kandahar in Afghanistan was known to have giants. There's been giants all over North America. The Native American tribes talk about these white, red-headed, six-fingered, six-toed, 2 rows of teeth cannibal giants. Also, Native Americans in America, they don't have a written language. They have a verbal tradition, but they also use certain events as, timeline markers. There was a time when there was no horses in North America. It wasn't until, the conquistadors, went down to Central and South America and left the horses behind, they migrated. So North American folklore talks about a time before horses. And I did a show on there, one of the good stories on there about these giants that they went to war with, right? And as well. And then you can go and look up these other, when the Men in Black first come into play in the United States of America was 1920. There was a major discovery in the Grand Canyon. To this day, you can't get to that place. We've talked about that as well. You also have the in Wisconsin giant mounds that were, that were reported that they found these 10 feet tall, 11 foot tall giants in there. Smithsonian shows up, takes everything away. This year, Trump signs an executive order saying that the Smithsonian has to release everything they have about giants. Go look that up as well, right? So at this point, it can't really be, I would say, labeled as fringe science anymore. Like I said, I don't want to be rude, but
subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.